You keep telling yourself this is the year things change. New habits, new job search, new way of talking to your partner. And yet 3 weeks in, you're back to the old pattern. Quietly, almost without noticing. That's not a lack of willpower. That's your brain doing exactly what it was built to do. Picture this. You've had the same argument with your partner 5 times this month. Same words, same tone, same ending. Somewhere inside, you know exactly how it's going to go before it even starts. And yet you say the same thing anyway. Or think about a job you've hated for 2 years. You know the desk, the coffee machine, the way your manager sighs before a meeting. It's not good, but it's familiar. And some strange part of you would rather stay in that familiar bad place than step into an unfamiliar good one. If that sounds like you, you're not broken. You're human. And there's a reason this happens, hiding in the wiring of your brain. Here's why you can trust this. This isn't a random idea. It comes from real brain science, the kind taught by psychologists who study how the brain handles stress and safety. Deep inside your brain sits a part scientists call the limbic system, along with the brain stem below it. Think of this as your brain's built-in security guard. For most of human history, this guard's only job was to keep you alive. Spot the danger, avoid the threat, survive one more day. It didn't care about your happiness. It cared about your survival. The problem is, that guard never got the memo that the world changed. You are almost never in real physical danger anymore. But your brain doesn't know that. So it still treats anything unfamiliar as a possible threat. A new relationship, a new career move, a new way of speaking up for yourself. To this old part of your brain, unfamiliar equals unsafe. And unsafe means it pulls the alarm and pulls you back to what you already know, even if what you already know is painful. There's a saying that captures this perfectly. It goes something like this. Sometimes people stay stuck in a painful situation for a long time simply because they've become familiar with it. They know every street, every turn, every rule for getting through it without getting hurt. That's exactly what happens with change. Staying stuck feels safer than moving forward, purely because you've survived it before. Your brain looks at that survival and quietly decides, well, we made it through, so this must be fine. Keep doing this, and it locks you in. But here's the part that actually matters for you today. You don't have to let that old survival guard make every decision. There's another part of your brain, the upper region, right behind your forehead, that handles clear thinking, purpose, and real choice. Some people call it the thinking brain. This is the part that can look at a situation and ask, does this actually serve me? Or am I just repeating what feels familiar? The goal isn't to silence the survival guard completely. You need it for real danger. The goal is to stop letting it run the whole show when there's no real danger at all. So how do you actually shift into that clearer, more purposeful part of your brain when you notice yourself repeating an old pattern? Try asking yourself a few simple questions in the moment. First, would you tell someone you love to do what you're about to do? If a close friend were in your exact situation, would you encourage them to send that same angry text, stay at that same job, avoid that same conversation? If the answer is no, that's a clue you're running on autopilot, not choosing on purpose. Second, are you reacting on purpose or just reacting? There's a real difference between a response you've actually thought through and a reflex that fires before you've had a chance to think. Notice which one is happening right now. Third, is this response actually serving you? Not comfortable, not familiar, actually helping you get where you want to go. And fourth, is this how you want to be known? If this reaction became your pattern, your reputation, the way people describe you, would you be proud of that? These 4 questions won't fix everything by themselves. Life is more complicated than 4 questions, but each one works like a small flashlight. It won't light up the whole room, but it's enough to see the next step clearly. And once you can see the next step, you're no longer being dragged by an old survival instinct. You're choosing. There's another idea, often credited to Albert Einstein, that fits perfectly here. The rough idea is this: you cannot solve a problem using the same level of thinking that created it in the first place. If the survival brain created the pattern you're stuck in, the survival brain cannot be the one to get you out of it. You need that clearer, upper part of your mind to step in instead. So the next time you catch yourself repeating something that isn't working, something that quietly feels safe simply because it's familiar, pause. Ask yourself just one of those 4 questions. That single pause is the moment you stop reacting out of old survival wiring and start choosing on purpose. That's the real shift. Not forcing change through willpower, but recognizing the moment your brain is trying to keep you comfortable instead of helping you grow. If this changed the way you think about your own stuck patterns, tell me in the comments which of the 4 questions hit hardest for you. And if you want more ways to understand why your brain does what it does, subscribe, because next time, we're going to look at exactly what happens in your brain in the 10 seconds before you make an impulsive decision, and how to catch it before it happens.